How is it going, boys and girls? Welcome back to Key West Waterman. My name is Aaron Young. Due to an overwhelming amount of messages, comments, emails, asking questions about the spinning fish and the odd behavior of the fish in the Florida Keys, I did want to make a video and address it, kind of a live from the ground type of report. Wanted to do a couple things. I wanted to share what is known. I'm going to share my opinion because a lot of you guys were asking about it, and we're actually going to head out on the boat. And I've been heading out some of the nights this week trying to find some of this behavior. You hope you can't find any, but the reality is it is happening. I did want to say, normally the news blows a lot of things out of proportion. This is real. It is really happening. Fish are dying. So I just did wanted to share that. And before I dive into any of this, I did want to say I'm not a scientist. I'm not a marine biologist. I have no scientific data to support my opinion when I do share it. It's just after spending a lot of time in the water and observing and seeing things in the ecosystem down here, it's how I feel about it. So first, we'll share what is known and what's going on. First off, if you're not familiar, as of today, I believe 21 small-tooth sawfish have been confirmed dead, which is a really, really sad thing to see. They are a critically endangered species. What's happening is sawfish, stingrays, Goliath groupers, tarpon, snook, jacks, all kinds of little bait fish are acting very strange. They're calling it spinning fish, or the spinning fish, or something along those lines is what they're referring to it as. And what it looks like, if you see it, is the fish are just extremely disoriented. They're just spinning. They can't catch their bearings. It almost appears as if they have vertigo. A lot of the sawfish are coming up out of the water, throwing their saw around. Just really erratic, unusual behavior that you don't see, and a lot of the fish are winding up dead, unfortunately. So that's what's going on. It did kind of start around the Middle Keys area, Big Pine to Cudjoe. But it does seem now that it is kind of spreading, or whether it's spreading or the fish are moving is to be determined. But from everything I've read, everything I'm seeing online, there's a ton of different groups studying this, taking water samples, taking organ samples from the fish that are dying, and they really can't find out for sure what's going on yet. They've sampled all the water in the fish. There's no viruses or parasites found. I do have some notes here I'm going to look at because there's a lot of information. There's no organ abnormalities, no red tide detected in the water samples, no smoking gun contaminants. I heard that phrase on the news. There's no red flag that's saying this is what it is. There was one or two groups that said there was one harmful algae bloom sampled that popped up, and I'm going to throw this on the screen. Excuse my pronunciation. It is normally a benthic dinoflagellate called Gambria discus. From my understanding, it's not what is causing it. They're not 100% sure. They said it's just a little odd. The levels of it are a little odd, so they're still determining that. So that's what the news is saying. That's everything I've read, all the articles, the people I've spoke to. They don't have one thing that they're pinning it on. They quite honestly don't understand yet. So my opinion, I'll share a couple of things that I've observed and seen. It seems almost more prevalent at nighttime. There is a ton of sightings happening during the day. Some of the smaller fish, mullet, snook, jacks, it seems like a lot of the videos and a lot of the locals I've talked to, they seem like it's happening more during the night. And I'm going to go back to last summer. It was strange. It was probably early summer, June or July. Madeline and I were sitting up on the balcony just kind of hanging out, and we noticed a stingray came into the canal. Never seen a stingray in the canal. And it wasn't doing you'll see some videos where they're flipping upside down. They're very disoriented. It wasn't doing that, but it came in kind of mellow. They're normally pretty about their wits, and it just came in kind of slow, laid down. It laid there for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and it went to swim off again, and it just rolled over and laid down and died. That was in the middle of summer last year. And if you're not familiar, last summer was extremely hot. It was one for the record books. It's not a summer that we have seen since I've been here in 10 years. Water was extremely hot. The surface temps got record highs. It was really bad. And in late, I want to say, I didn't document all this, so I'm going off of memory, so it may not be exact, but I want to say it was around August or September, this weird brown blob of water moved into the Middle Keys. It was about Big Pine to maybe Cudjoe, Big Coppet area-ish, but it was really thick, just like brown. You could not see this far in front of your face, and it's not uncommon we have bad visibility, we get a lot of high winds, and you have that green, what they call pea soup water. You can't see very well. But this water was almost, when the Indian River Lagoon was having issues, it almost looked like that. It was just really brown and thick and nasty, and nothing I'd ever seen, and it hung around for maybe a month. So just from what I've been observing, again, I have no scientific evidence, my opinion is something with that brown water, the fish that were exposed to it, the fish that spent some time in it, maybe they're having some sort of delayed reaction, because all of these reports started really heavily around October, November. We started seeing some stuff, and you do get exposure on it with everyone having cell phones and whatnot. So I'm sure, and more people paying attention, it's becoming more and more popular to see and have sightings and whatnot. But it became really popular around October, November. So my opinion, I think maybe the fish that spent that time in that water are having some sort of delayed reaction to something, because obviously fish move around. So maybe just the fish that were in that area were affected, and the fish are slowly spreading out, and you're seeing it happen in other areas. So it did start primarily in the middle lower Keys, Big Pine to Cudjoe area. There's been reports of sawfish behaving strangely off of Key West. I think even recently there was one off of Miami. There was a video that popped up somewhere up there, Everglades, Miami area. So fish do swim, but that is my personal opinion. And you can maybe compare it to like secondhand smoke or smoking. You can smoke cigarettes for quite some time before you really start to see damage or it take effect or have bad side effects. So maybe these fish that spent a couple weeks, a month in that dirty brown water, maybe there was something in it. Wasn't enough to kill them right away, but maybe it's slowly, it's a ticking time bomb, and we're starting to see that. So that's my opinion. Pretty much that's all I had to share. Again, I don't have really anything other than the news has. No one really knows what's going on for sure. Some people say it's related to the Lake Okeechobee dumping water on the east and west coast. That's a different topic. I can't comment on that. Some people are saying the scientists are paid off. You know how that goes. There's going to be rumors. I can't confirm nor deny. That is all I have for the chatter. Like I said, I'm gonna run out on the boat, and I'm gonna hit some of the land-based spots at night this week and see if we can find any behavior. Hopefully I don't find any, but just in case we do, I'm gonna bring the cameras along. If you do see a spinning fish, I would recommend that you not eat it. The two fish, something else. The two fish that I have been seeing displaying behavior in person were stingrays and Goliath groupers. A couple weeks ago I did see a Goliath grouper that was spinning really bad underwater, and by the time I realized what was going on, I didn't have time to get my camera on, and it created this big cloud and I couldn't find it. And one other side note I did want to mention, I don't know if any sharks have been affected, which I thought was strange. Maybe all the sharks evacuated in the summer because the water was so hot. Maybe there's just different biology, I don't know. The sawtooth or the sawfish are actually, from my understanding, rays and not sharks. Stingrays have been affected and sawfish have been affected. So maybe there's something there with the sharks. Who knows? But enough rambling. Like I said, I'm going to run out on the boat this afternoon. We're going to take a peek around, see if we can, hopefully not, but see if we do see any symptoms of the spinning fish. And one more thing I did want to mention before I head out on the boat. I forgot to say this earlier. From my understanding, there's been no reports of pelagic species, any fish on the reef. It seems like it's only been near shore sightings. There's been some on the boat, but they've all been near land, in the flats, in the mangroves, everything near shore. Again, from my understanding, there have been no sightings, no odd behavior from any of the deeper species out on the reef and the pelagic fish. So I've got the dive gear and the cameras. We're gonna head out and see if we can find some strange behavior. Just to be clear, I am located more towards the lower end of the Keys. I'm down by Key West. I'm not up in Big Pine or the middle Keys, but we'll head out and see what we can find. So this first spot we're gonna check out is my go-to stingray spot. If I wanna see a stingray, this is where I go. On a slow day, you see 8 to a dozen of them. On a good day, you can see 40 or 50 of them. So we'll check it out. It's really, really low tide. I may not even have to get in the water, but just cruise around, see if we see any, and see if there's any odd behavior. Try and come in here nice and slow. Don't want to disturb too much, but I want to see if we have any erratic behavior. Oh, there's another one over there. Seems pretty about his wits. Oh, there's another one right here. Oh, there's another one right here. They're all over the place. Right here we got one. Well, they are here. There is plenty of them. Goodness gracious. That is a big one. So I'm just gonna pass through. Like I said, I don't want to disturb them too much. They are all over the place. I mean, I can see 7 right now. Turn the motor off so we don't spook them too much. And again, I'm in the lower Keys. I'm closer to Key West right now. I mean, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Everybody seems to be behaving pretty normal. I mean, there is a lot here, and not a single one is behaving strangely. So that's good. Well, that is a good sign in my opinion. I'm gonna get out of here. I don't want to bug these. Oh, look at these two. I don't want to bug these any more than I have to. I just wanted to come out, see a population of them, and in my opinion, it's a good thing. I know maybe someone out there was hoping for some of the erratic behavior, but I think it's good to be able to see. I mean, saw probably another one right there. Saw probably 30 or 40 of them, maybe even more than that, and not a single one was behaving out of the ordinary. So in my book, that is a good thing. Again, I'm off of Key West. This has more been centralized, kind of Big Pine, Cudjoe, and that area. But yeah, we'll go check out some Goliath grouper spots, and I'll have to hop in the water for that, but we'll see if we can locate some and see how they are behaving. One thing I did want to mention, I forgot to talk about it earlier, is I could be mistaken. From everything I've seen, videos, reports, there's been no reports of sharks having any issues, which, if I'm not mistaken, a sawfish is actually in the ray family. So some of you guys may be thinking it's a sawtooth shark. It's actually, from my understanding, it's a ray. But if you've heard of any sharks having any issues, I would be interested to hear about that. I have not seen or heard anything about that. I thought that was interesting. So, but again, headed over, gonna check out some Goliath grouper spots and see what we can run into. Oh, and here we go. These are actually mullet. Hopefully the camera picks them up. So mullet has been one of the ones that have been behaving oddly. You can see there is a huge, well, maybe you can see there's a huge school right here. Thankfully, none of them are spinning. That is a good thing. More stingrays. Speaking of Goliath groupers, I was on my way to my next spot and I ran over, not ran over like physically, like ran right near a giant Goliath. I don't know if you'll be able to see him. That Goliath grouper is on a piece of debris and is about 200, 250 maybe? Wow, maybe I'll hop in on that fish. That's pretty wild. He's just out in the middle of nowhere on the grass flat. Looked like he was sitting next to a bathtub or something. So I hopped in, check out this spot and several other Goliath grouper spots. Again, just wanted to check them out, see if there was any strange behavior. And I did want to say one thing, just because I haven't seen anything this day or didn't see anything does not mean that this is not real. I promise you, I have seen it firsthand. The odd behavior, the fish spinning, the fish are dying. I assure you it is real. Hopefully this is a sign that it's improving. Maybe I'm just a little far out of the area that is the epicenter, so to speak, of the fish that are affected. But again, just because I didn't see anything this day does not mean that it's not actually happening. I assure you it is. And snook have actually been another one that I've gotten a lot of videos of at nighttime up on the shore, rolling around, doing the spins. And I found a nice school of snook. Happy to say they all were behaving pretty normal, and none of them were spinning. This was the only fish that, I don't want to say it was unusual, but it was a little off. When it's swimming away, it swam off just a little, kind of held its gills out and was a little wobbly compared to most Goliaths, but for the most part, they all seemed completely fine. And not to mention all of the other fish we're seeing. I saw thousands of snappers and grunts and all kinds of stuff. And as I said, for the most part, everything I saw looked just fine, which is a good thing. Hopefully this is getting better. Hopefully this is not just the tip of the iceberg. And that is all I have. Thankfully, we did not find anything with symptoms today. Saw a ton of fish, ton of stingrays, probably maybe 7 or 8 Goliath groupers. But I assure you, this is real. The news is not making a bigger deal out of it like they normally do. This is real. This is really happening. I've seen it myself. This spot actually is where I saw a Goliath grouper doing it a couple weeks ago while I was filming, but I didn't have my camera on. I came up on it, it did a bunch of spins and just couldn't get away from me. And I didn't realize what was happening until it was too late. It had already created such a big cloud. I lost the fish, but again, I promise this is real. It's actually happening. Hopefully this video will help bring some awareness to it. If you're sitting at home wondering what you can do, if you're not from the area, spread the word. The more people that know about this, the more attention it gets, the more funding the people who need it can get, and they can hopefully find a solution or a way to prevent it if possible. If you are from the area, same thing, share as much as you can. Knowledge is power. And if you do see something, report it. If they have, sighting locations, it helps them do their job better, and they can kind of track which way this thing is going. So, but other than that, if you see a spinning fish, do not eat it. I'm not an expert, but I would recommend you probably shouldn't eat it. I believe that's all I have. If you have any questions, I will do my best to get to them. And any major breaks or updates in what's going on, I will try to get that to you guys as soon as I have it. But that's all I have. Thanks so much for your time. A little bit more of a downer of an episode than usual. But I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you later.